I'm huffing and puffing here. It's awfully mild, very mild. It's 14 degrees, and with all the gear on, it's quite hot within. All is good in my life, and I'm still embracing the great outdoors and the long distance walking. It's what I like to do, it's who I am, and it's getting away from the racket of life and getting into these quite isolated and desolate places that I love being in. Now this morning's trek will mainly consist of tracking and trekking through pretty dense forests. No mountains today. Now once again, I have this morning's world to myself. And once again, I'm blessed with the weather. No sunshine, awfully mild, 14 degrees, dry, in fact sticky as you walk up these hills, and a major forest to myself. Yep. A few days ago, believe it or not, I pulled a muscle in my lower back. I thought I was in the onset of sciatica, but on further investigation, it turns out to be a pulled muscle. Some of you have been sending me some questions, which I will now endeavor to answer. One of the questions, I found it rather unusual to be asked, is, am I a religious person? The reason I was asked such a question was because I spend so much time alone, and obviously I seem to be at ease with the great outdoors and embrace all its qualities, its benefits, plus the walking. So answering the question, am I a religious person? Yes, I have a religion based on a level that's acceptable for me and everybody else. I'm a believer, and I do the right thing by him and man. But I do believe, I do go to Mass. I'm not upsetting or hurting anybody by pursuing going to Mass. I find the level of religion that I have, it grounds me. It offers and affords me a base. I wouldn't go to Mass every day, but I have my level. It is my level of religion that works for me. And I don't impose my will on anybody else. And if you're a non-believer and you're looking at this, good for you. The second question that I was asked was actually, this was the first question I was asked, is why do I spend so much time in isolation? Am I a loner? Well, I know a lot of people, and therefore a lot of people know me. But I'm not a loner, but I absolutely love my own time and the time that I spend in the great outdoors. It is now that time that I hold dearly. It's a precious time for me. I mean, you just look at that this morning here. Woods circumnavigating me. I don't see anybody unless they're hiding there in the trees and the vegetation behind me. But I love walking. and walking in isolation and in the great outdoors. So I'm not a loner. And yes, I do walk alone, and perhaps that was the inspiration for asking the question of me. Because I walk alone, are you a loner? When I'm alone, I can think, I don't worry, I don't stress. I'm not a stressful person anyway to begin with. I'm not putting myself under pressure. The hills and the terrain can be difficult and even mountainous. I tackle that at my level. And I tackle that without boasting very, very easily. So all this walking and all this being on my own when doing so, or whilst doing so, as far as I'm concerned, I benefit greatly from the peace of mind, the psychological boost, the non-pressure environment that I'm passing through, and nature. I've been walking all my life, but in the past few years I started to acquire great distances, many miles and kilometers. I cover all those distances with great ease. You can perhaps see that from my videos. My life of walking will continue as long as the buckle upstairs affords me the strength, the determination, the willpower and the ability. So hopefully those two questions I've answered eloquently, truthfully, honestly and sincerely. Still traversing the big forests. Beautiful out here today. Pity the sun isn't shining, but we won't be greedy, or rather, I won't be greedy. Now, I rarely have an agenda when I go out walking. Okay, you'll have some sort of an idea when you're going to the islands and onto high mountains, you will. But when I go through woods and forests and off the beaten track, I don't be pinpointing the contours of the land and how far I can go and how long I'll be gone. Now once again, I seem to be lucky in my choosing the environment or the area and location that I walk in. This place is quite deserted. In fact, it's absolutely deserted. Which is the way I love it. I love it. I love being alone. The body and the mind gets a great workout. You don't have to go to spectacular panoramic environments where there is panoramic views as far as the eye can see, right onto the horizon. You don't. Some people like to go to places where there's beauty and sea views and acute cliffs and environments like that. Sure, I encounter those in the various places I go to, but most of the times I'm in dense woodland. But listen. Can you hear anything? Apart from my voice and a few sporadic bird birds chirping there in the dense undergrowth. That's the medicine. That is the medicine that I endeavor to track down. And virtually every time I succeed in finding a place of peace and quiet. And today is a typical example of a place where peace and quiet rules the roost. What am I thinking about when I'm walking? Bearing in mind that I am walking alone all the time. What is going through my head? Well, there obviously would be a myriad of things. Thoughts, ideas, emotions, ambitions. There are a myriad of things which, when you're on your own and you don't have any side intrusions and so forth, it's amazing what a workout the mind can get, as well as the body, on a walk. You know, many people, in fact all people including myself, give out about the state of the world, the trials and tribulations of countries and hotspots where war is raging, the innocent people that are caught up in a war can certainly offer you the ingredients of being stressed, depressed, worried, anxious. But when you come out like this, all the wars are still happening, all the people are still dying, the economic situation in our country and countries is dire, the cost of living is outrageous, governments don't seem to care, people are disillusioned, stressed, worried, anxious, and at loggerheads with each other. Marriages collapsing, murders are rife, even in this Emerald Isle. But when you walk like this and you take a few hours to appreciate what the peace, the quiet, and the silence can offer you, it's not running away from realities, the horrendous realities of the world. I'm not doing that, because if I were, I wouldn't have stated them there in succession a few moments ago. But when I walk here and I walk over there, and wherever it is that I walk, I am giving myself the time to be in control, the time for me, for moi, the time that I desperately need. It's time that everybody desperately needs. But you have got to take a decision and do something about the racket that's forever beating us all into the floor. I don't want to know about it. I'm not turning my back on the realities. I'm not, certainly not. But I'm not going to have myself bombarded by the constant repetitious news that we seem to have coming out of the Irish national radio stations and television stations. In fact, every multimedia station around the world. It's the constant flow of killing, murder, depression, economic disasters, and all the things that people suffer when they hear, see, and constantly subjected to this terrible bad news situation. I don't want to know about it. I not a greedy person, and I'm not a loner, but I want to live my life. I get one life and I need to live it, and I have been doing that pretty well most of my life. This is a reality for me. I'm here in the moment, and that is what's important. I cannot control the trials and tribulations of this world. Nobody can. Those in power can't. So what in the name of goodness am I doing? Corralling myself into this endless cycle of news, depressive news. So think about that. You know, it's a sort of weird. Here we are in the third day of February in an Irish winter climate, and I'm feeling cocooned in the jacket and the top. We got no winter last year of sorts. We got 2 weeks of frosty weather there a week and a half ago, but you can't classify them as a winter. No, but it's fantastic, absolutely fantastic to be out and about in this kind of weather and having the surroundings and the countryside like I do to enjoy. Well, I'm sitting here in a very dense part of this enormous forest. Pine trees all over the place. Place to myself. No animals, no humans. My mind is clear. The day is my own. I've just been over 2.5 hours walking. It's not a big walk today. It's all forest walking, a few country dirt tracks leading between forests. But again, it's the medication, the nourishment that I need to take me through this weekend. After the long weekend, it's a long weekend, St. Bridget weekend here in Ireland, a new bank holiday bestowed upon us by the present government. God help us. So we have a bank holiday, 3 days off. This is it for today, folks. Thank you once again for tagging along with me. You're very quiet. My goodness, you're very quiet. You're not much company. But I do all the walking, and unfortunately I must do all the talking. So while I fix my cap on my head, put my jeans over my boots, and make my decision to get my backside back to my home, which is around 8 kilometers away from here. So today's walk will be around 16 kilometers. Believe it or not, I've been walking hard on and off, apart from the times that I've been chatting to you. So folks, thank you for being there. Thank you for your likes on the previous videos, all the comments and all the shares. I'll produce this video, it'll be a short one, within the next few days or so. Have a nice weekend. Look after each other. Take care of each other. Be there for each other. And stay safe, and God bless you all. I'm out of here. Well folks, that's this morning's adventure. I'm about 30 minutes from home, and looking at the technology, it's telling me that I've actually traversed 16.17 kilometers.